Hello and welcome. My name is Erin, and I'm part of the client care team here at Summit AR. Our hope with these videos is that they will help our clients with some of the frequently asked questions that we tend to have about our secure portal. So today I'm going to show you step by step how to correctly load your placements onto our secure portal. So let's get started. Be to go to Summit's website, which is summitcollects.com. And then over here on the right, you're going to click the Client Access key. This will bring you to both of our portals. So the status portal is actually where you will go after everything is entered with us, and you can go in and you can check the status of any of your accounts. But right now we're going to use the placement portal because it's exactly what it sounds like, the place you will go to place your documents will be on the placement portal. So to log into the portal, you will have already been given a username and a password. The biggest thing to remember when logging in is that any letters will need to be capitalized, whether that's in the username or the password. So once you're in, this will show the information for your company, so you'll definitely know that you got into the right place. So then you're going to go up here to placement forms, and you're going to select which placement form works best for your company. Alright, so if you're medical or dental, this is going to be what the placement form looks like. So you're going to fill out one placement form for each account you're putting into collections. So the only information we need about your company on this form is right up here where the client ID is. You will have, prior to this, been assigned a 6-character client ID. Usually it's 3 letters and 3 numbers, usually a 001 will follow the letters. And then everything else is all for the person that you are putting into collections. So this is all that we need specifically for your company. So then we move into the patient information, and you want to start with a primary reference number. This is exactly what it looks like. It is your company's internal account identification code. It could be a variation of their name, the date of service, maybe just the month that they owe for, whatever it is. It makes it a lot easier if somebody has a very common name. If it's, Joe Smith, then we might have several clients with a debtor named Joe Smith. So if we have a reference number that we can use when we contact you or you contact us about the account, it just allows us to be able to look it up a little bit quicker. Alright, so medical things can work a little bit differently because it's not uncommon to have the patient not be the responsible party because the patient might be a minor. So what's important to remember is that this top section is always going to be for the responsible party. Even if the patient is not the responsible party, we want the information for the responsible party. If the patient is not the responsible party, then that goes down here. And then you'll want to fill this out and say, oh, well, they're a minor, so the person above is their father. That's how they are related to one another. Excuse me. If the patient and the responsible party are the same person, you only need to fill out this section. When you do fill this out, up here we want as much of this information as you can possibly give us so that we have as much information as we need to help validate the account and verify the account with them. To be able to get a hold of them, we absolutely have to have an address and a phone number. It's handy if you have a social security number, even the last for, because that will help us find them in our system and again verify who they are, and that type of a thing. If the patient is a minor, then we just need their name and their date of birth, because odds are this information is probably the same up here. Another important thing when filling out the address is to remember that oftentimes you guys will have an address that is bad. It's not a good address for whatever reason, and if that happens, we still want that address. You know, it'd be great, mark down here, bad address, something like that, so we can get a heads up. But it's better for us to have a bad address, skip trace for a good address, because if you send us something without an address at all, even if the address you have is bad, but you opt not to put it in there, we won't enter it. We absolutely have to have an address. So down here, when we get into talking about money, exactly what this note says. The principal has to be a minimum of $50. It doesn't matter if your total is going to be $1,000. The principal at least has to be 50. You can't have this be 40 and then you add interest or finance charges and you add collection costs and then the amount is over 50, or at least 50. The principal has to be $50. As far as interest charges and collection costs go, now let's talk about the date of last service. So we have a 2-year policy. We don't want to take anything that's over 2 years old. And that is not 2 years based on when January rolls over and a new year starts. It is 2 years from the day that you are submitting the placement to us. So if today was June 2nd, 2020, the oldest date of service your placement could have would be June 2nd, 2018. Down here in the other useful information area, that's just a good spot to put anything you feel like we need to know, something that couldn't be covered above. Maybe if, like we talked about, you had a bad address, you enter it in here, you maybe just type down here, we think this is a bad address. Just gives us a heads up. This area can also be left blank if there isn't anything you feel like it's that we need to know that's imperative that you have not already told us. When it comes to adding your backup documents, down here is always going to be the list of the things that we need. When it comes to medical and dental, we really need a patient responsibility form, an itemized statement so that we can verify, saying on this day you had such and such procedure done, it cost this much money, that's what you owe for. We like to have demographics as well. It helps us to validate and verify all of this information up here. When you go to attach, you can only attach one thing at a time. So if you have 5 pieces of backup you need to attach, you have to attach 5 of them separately. So you'll go in and select and go to wherever it is on your computer you have that saved. Once you get them all in there, just take a second, go back over this, look again, make sure that this is filled out the way that you want it. And if you need to make changes, that's the time, because once you click submit, there is no changing this. So if there was a mistake, you would have to submit another placement, put on that placement form in this area here. You know, previous one was sent an error, please don't use this one. And then potentially, or you could contact us and say, hey, I sent this one an error, please ignore it, just delete it when you get it, whatever it might be. But it's just easier if you can avoid that, but we're all human, so sometimes it happens. Alright, so once you're sure that that is what you want it to be, go ahead and click submit. This will bring up this page allowing you to know that, hey, you did it, it was successful. And then you can go right back in here and boom, pick another one and just start filling it out if you have more than one placement. If you're done and you'd like to, you can go into... Okay, so in placement history, it's going to show you all of the things that you have placed with us in a 24-hour period. this is what is on our portal. So we try to get everything off the portal in 24 hours or less from the time that you have submitted it. So within 24 hours, you can go in here, you can look at it, you can open it up if you'd like, see what you did, you can look at your backup if for some reason you felt the need to do that. So much detail. Otherwise, but after 24 hours, this won't be here anymore. It doesn't mean that you didn't submit it correctly. If you don't see it, if it's been over 24 hours, we've got it. If you have any other questions, if there's anything you would like clarification on, please don't hesitate to contact us at admin@summitcollects.com. We're here to help. We're more than happy to do it. I hope that this ended up being helpful for you and helps to alleviate some stress and concern with placing your placements for the first time. We look forward to getting them. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.